Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is our Wacky and Weird Wednesday episode. We're going to find all the wacky and weird news that's going on this week since last Wednesday and tell you about it. There's animals, there's people, there's politicians, there's society just being
Graffiti!
Weird and being lucky and being crazy. Very crazy. So
My stories are only about balloons, weather, and graffiti. So
yeah, the world is just really odd. This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before the show. We just got caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's roll that segue wheel, but first, get into today's stories. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. I have the window open. There it is. Fairy tales come true. Welsh couple defy odds with a second £1 million lottery win. And Essex. In Essex, 5 arrested after raids at a charity clothes bank. Wow, they really needed clothes.
And greetings on Weird Wednesday. We're going to update the atmospheric river causing havoc in the Pacific Northwest, and Lithuania arrests 21 alleged smugglers that were using balloons to smuggle cigarettes.
Democracy gets physical. Mexico City lawmakers brawl on the floor, pull hair, and trade blows during a live debate in Parliament. And a cow was saved after getting head stuck in 2 trees.
Oh, wow. In ancient Pompeii, they had their own Banksy. Yeah, Pompeii's graffiti captures every joke, boast, and argument of the ancient Roman city frozen in time.
And in my culture news, released the Epstein files. Virginia Giuffre's Epstein Accuser memoir sells 1 million copies in the first 2 months of its release.
And it's National Say It Now Day. So say it now. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. As Aerosmith said, maybe tomorrow the good Lord take you away. It's December 17th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Take me away.
No, don't take you away. You're too young. Dream on. We got to sing that song in karaoke now. I can't do it because it'll clip me.
A dream on. A dream come true. That was, I think it was a TikTok song or something. A TikTok sound for a while.
Dream on.
And people were using it to brag about how great their life is or something. Like, look, I can travel to the Bermuda Triangle or something. I don't know. I'm living in Italy and having a great life. Dream on. Dream on.
Yeah, you don't know this, but you weren't there. But it was the graduation song for your youngest sister at her high school graduation.
Really? Okay.
The choir sang "Dream On," and I was like tapping my toes. Anyway,
is that how you dance like a pirate? A little shake.
Yeah, I danced a little jig. I got up in the aisles and I was like, and the guy behind me broke out an accordion. It was awesome. And a little monkey came up.
And started hiding under his robe.
Yeah.
And his hat. He had an accordion.
It's the old organ grinder and a monkey joke.
Oh, great.
All right.
Let's roll our segue here for the first weird stories, because this conversation is weird enough.
Steven Tyler wrote that song. Steven Tyler, when he was 20 years old, or actually, I think he wrote that when he was like 15. Steven Tyler's the only person who, when he was 15, wrote songs like an old man, but looked like an old woman. So, and he's always looked like an old woman. Steven Tyler will eternally be mistaken for Mick Jagger in his 90s, or an old woman, because he's always looked like that. He's always like his face don't fit. Like, your face didn't finish. Put it back.
Put it back in the oven. Start again.
I on Steven Tyler because he's been rich and squandered several fortunes in his lifetime, and that's his fault,
and he's
right?
also was really bad person in his youth to women.
Oh, he was died on stage.
He probably had 20 unaccounted for children or something.
Yeah, who knows? But he also died on stage, and I knew a guy who worked.
Oh, that's true. He did.
Yeah. He OD'd. He's a serious heroin addict. So was a guitar player who they don't even like each other, by the way. Joe Perry and Steven Tyler.
But somehow their band is the longest band together in America.
That's amazing.
American band. The longest running American band. They haven't broken up.
I don't think they're together anymore, so I don't know. But I will say this.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure we did a story about him being like, I can't sing anymore.
Yeah, they've been on and off for years. But
I just remember we did a story this year that he's like, I can't sing anymore, so I'm done. Like, I legitimately can't use my voice.
I will say none of them have died yet. That's an amazing thing, considering our age and how many drugs they took. What's this? I don't know. Shoot it in your veins. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. Rock stars. Lifestyle I never understood. It's like, you realize that you can just make money off being a rock star the rest of your life, right? You don't have to indulge yourself now. But short-term memory loss, I guess, or something, which I have. We have a show today,
you're not addicted to drugs somehow, so good job.
I'm addicted to two things. I'm addicted to gambling. This is a joke for my stand-up act, by the way. I'm addicted to gambling. Fortunately, I'm also addicted to weed, so I keep forgetting to gamble. There you go. There's my opening line to my stand-up act.
There we go. Your first segue is haiku from my story, which is about fairy tales coming true. Imagine winning the lottery. Then imagine winning it a second time. Whoa. This is by Eleanor Story on The Independent. A Welsh couple have defied the odds with a second £1 million national lottery win. Richard Davies, 49, and Faye Stevenson Davies, 43, who celebrated their first win 7 years ago, said it proves fairy tales do come true. The pair from Brecon, which Brecon Beacons is a really nice hiking trail you can do up a mountain, securing their second big win in the lotto draw in November, but have no plans to quit their jobs in the run-up to Christmas. Mr. Davies said he will continue to work on 7 days a week as a courier, while Miss Stevenson Davies, a mental health worker, will offer support to her clients throughout a festive period. That's sweet of her. I'm glad there's a mental health worker who actually enjoys helping people, because sometimes it attracts the wrong people. Miss Stevenson Davies said, "We always believed winning was possible, and once we scooped £1 million and met hundreds of other lucky winners, we realized fairy tales do come true, and there are winners everywhere. We knew the odds of it happening again were outrageous, but were proof that if you believe anything is possible." According to an expert at Alwyn, operator of the National Lottery, the odds of the couple winning both the Euro Millions Millionaire Maker in 2018 and the 5 numbers in the bonus ball on Lotto are over 24 trillion to 1. Trillion! That's a lot of zeros, people. 9 zeros, I believe. 9. No. 12. 12 zeros? A billion is 9 zeros. It's a lot of fucking zeros. It's so many zeros, I don't even know how many zeros it is. Following the first win, Mrs. Stevenson Davies gave up her work as a mental health nurse and went back to university, getting a second degree in counseling and therapeutic practice. Wow, she really wanted to help people. Maybe a good case of somebody who deserved to winning, you know? That's what it sounds like here. She now has her own practice and says she has no plans to abandon her clients after a second bit of luck. Mr. Davies, who previously worked as a hairdresser, said he started his job as a courier 2 years ago and loves it. The pair also volunteer with organizations that have received national lottery funding, including haircuts for homeless in Cardiff. Wow, these are actually great people, and they deserve it. Oh my god. This isn't Good Tuesday Newsday, but I'm happy for them. Mr. Davies added, "Everyone keeps asking what we'll do in the future, and we generally have no idea at present. We may have believed, doesn't mean we had a plan. The first time around, we gifted people cars. We donated a minibus to the local rugby team. Did our best to help friends and family. These are the people you want winning their lottery. These are the people you want winning. It was all new and it was amazing to be able to make a difference. This time, who knows? We'll take our time and enjoy the moment. Yeah, take a vacation. Go on holiday. You deserve it. What nice people to win the lottery. Are you still writing your
That
haiku?
is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Haiku goes like this. 14, 23, 47, 62, 54, 16. Those are your lotto numbers. And it's a haiku. Hey.
I kind of wish we actually had the numbers they won with.
Yeah.
But maybe it wouldn't fit in a
I was going to
haiku.
ask you for the numbers. Play those numbers today. See what happens anyway.
Yeah. And let us know. I guess don't let us know, right? Don't tell anybody you win the lottery.
Oh, I want to share. Damn it. I called him out.
My next story is coming out of not good news.
This is always bothered me. Why can't psychics win the lottery? Do they never play?
It's their gift, right? If they try to use their gift for their own value, they lose. They can only use it to help others.
Give it to your friend. Or give it to your friend.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Pretty simple.
Maybe they do it. Maybe they're friends with a psychic. That's why they won a second time.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the psychic is secretly hiding money somewhere. It's hard to do that. You can't hide it in the tax man because the lottery is a legitimate thing. So
yeah, they don't like when you do that.
You can't launder lottery money. Good luck trying. You already know about it as soon as you want it.
That's true.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
My next story is about the more negative news, or the wacky crimes. This is from Lewis Adams, coming out of Essex on the BBC News. 5 men have been arrested over conspiracy to steal large amounts of outfits from charity clothes banks to sell abroad. That's right, they're stealing donated clothes so that they can sell it in secondhand black market stores. I don't know. Get your clothes here! Special black market clothes! Essex police said items donated by the public were being taken from containers to finance crime. Addresses in Basildon, Thurrock, and across London were raided on Tuesday, which was the 16th of December, in connection with the scheme and to a Lithuanian organized crime group. The 5 men were all arrested on suspicion of theft and remained in custody, police confirmed. There were 46-year-old from Pompeii, a 38-year-old from South Ockenden, a 34-year-old and a 32-year-old from Dagenham, East London, and a 30-year-old from Purfleet. Those are all British town names. Essex police said suspects were targeting containers in town and city centers where they could take a large quantity of clothes in one hit. They believed the group behind the spree were selling clothes abroad to finance other crimes or launder money to disguise their offending. There you go, that's how you can launder your lottery money. Steal clothes from a charity shop and then sell it. Officers also seized multiple... It won't work because they caught him. Officers also seized multiple mobile phones and several large quantities of cash, including £10,000 from a vehicle. The money was believed to be tied to criminality, police said, like selling drugs. Detective Sergeant Mike Monkton of the force's proactive money laundering team added, "The scale of these thefts is huge. Criminals are taking tons and tons of clothes from sites nationwide that were intended to help others or raise money for those in need. Instead, it was being used to line the pockets of criminals operating across Europe." So there's your wacky crime news.
Right.
Where they got caught. Sadly, we only hear about the ones where they get caught. 10 years ago, I did a wacky crime, I guess.
Right. And good thing there's not points for spelling as long as they get the syllables right. In haiku.
That's true.
You know the saying, charity begins at home. So this is what this haiku is about. Charity begins in home's vicinity. Theft ubiquitous. I don't know how to spell ubiquitous, but I know what it means. And it's a 4-syllable word.
Ubiquitous. There's your word of the day.
Yeah, ubiquitous. It means it's everywhere. It's so common you barely notice it anymore. Ubiquitous
I can spell it in chat, but you can't see chat.
Don't worry about spelling because there's no points for spelling in haiku because I didn't have to spell it for you. I just had to read it.
All right. I spelled it wrong.
Get my glasses up. Ubiquitous starts with U.
It thinks I'm trying to spell
UBIQ.
Because my computer's in Dutch, it's trying to autocorrect it in Dutch to Bouwholtjes.
Okay, let's try the spelling bee.
Which is
ubiquitous. UBIQ.
Oh, sorry, you're trying to spell it.
UBIQUITEUS, right? Ubiquitous?
I thought it was IOUTUS. I thought it was one of those French words.
It's either ubiquitous or ubiquitous, depending on part of the world you're in.
Ubiquitous.
Ready for the next spin?
Yes, let's roll our next spin.
They're like leaves on a tree. Yeah, they're there, but you barely notice them anymore.
I think it's probably with the O for the British French spelling. Roll the wheel.
That guy just stole something. Oh, okay. Stealing from charity is awful, by the way.
No,
and I don't give
terrible.
to charity.
Like
I give money direct. I give money directly to people that need it. Right? I see somebody in the street. Hey, I have $10. I said, I got 5. You know, okay. You know, the guy's
our next
like,
segue is non sequitur, which we're already doing right now.
Non sequitur. We're going to talk about an updated story from previously, and actually another story's been updated because of our hot planet and our freakish weather. Euronews.com has a story about Lithuania, also known as Lithuania, arrests 21 alleged smugglers. The previous
story, all those criminals stealing charity clothes. They didn't even plan that, by the way.
Hopefully, they're probably involved with these same clowns that are smuggling cigarettes. Smuggling cigarettes, what an odd thing, right? Wow, weird. But Canada, they check you at the border in Canada. They say, You
have to pay tariffs on those cigarettes.
Right. If you're bringing cigarettes into Canada, you can declare them. That's fine. You're going to pay a duty.
Yep.
Also, if you try to smuggle them, they'll arrest you. And they consider that contraband just the same as cocaine or fentanyl or anything else you want to name. So don't smuggle cigarettes into Canada because a pack of cigarettes in Canada costs, I think you got to take out a mortgage to buy a pack of cigarettes.
If you smuggle anything, there's a reason you're smuggling it because it's illegal or something. So you should probably not do that. Yeah. Do not smuggle.
There's so many bad puns I can make right now, but instead of that, I couldn't do the story instead. Authorities in Lithuania said on Tuesday had arrested 21 people allegedly connected to a criminal network that smuggled cigarettes using specially equipped weather balloons. What's the weather like? It's partly nicotine-y, From Russia-allied Belarus. Oh, good. Belarus ruining the rest of the world because their devotion to Vladimir Putin and nobody else. And which have violated the Baltic countries' airspace in recent weeks. Investigators conducted more than 80 searches, seizing cigarettes with Belarusian excise stamps, SIM cards, communication and tracking signal jammers, and firearms, the Lithuanian General Prosecutor's Office said in a statement. Lithuania is like, we hate Russia. We really hate you. You set our country back 75 years for the 50 years you were in charge. Get out of our lives. Anyway, the Tuesday's operation involved more than 140 officers from the Lithuanian Criminal Police Bureau, Vilnius Police, and Special Anti-Terrorism Units. The prosecutor's office said in the statement the alleged network was characterized by a very strict conspiracy. That's how conspiracies work, buddy. You can't have a non-strict conspiracy. It'll fall apart immediately. And distribution of rolls. Cigarette smuggling was carried out systematically in a coordinated manner under strict control of its organizers. They like that word strict. Of its organizers and their trustees. And did I point out they were strict? The prosecutors alleged that the organizers have been direct contacts with the accomplices operating in the Republic of Belarus, from where, under favorable conditions, balloons with smuggled cigarettes were launched. The world of smuggled cigarettes. What a thing. The shortest lasting high in the history of drugs is smoking a cigarette. You know how I know this? Because people keep repeating it every 15 minutes. I hit some weed and I get a buzz going. I don't even think about smoking weed for 7 or 8 hours. Right? I'm done. I'm good. But cigarettes, I'll give another one. I'm like, You're addicted to it, man.
I love when people always say, well, I smoke cigarettes because it reduces my stress. It's like, no. The nicotine addiction gets you stressed, and then you smoke to relieve that stress. It does not relieve your stress default just because you smoke a cigarette.
And that's why a lot of people quit smoking, they will gain about 20 pounds because they're substituting one vice for another. Yeah. Well, I used to eat. Let me eat a pound cake instead. I'm sorry. I used to smoke at this time of day. Let me eat a cheesecake.
Yeah, sadly, at the end of the day, the thing that solves your problems is probably therapy and, I don't know, meditation or something. Get addicted to meditation.
I think they should just start smoking weed instead, because weed is the flower and freaking
That's a great way to start meditating, because you'll just fall asleep on the couch.
Right. And you can't, it gets rid of your anger. I think cigarettes just build your anger because it's a nicotine, it's a stimulant. Back to the story. Tuesday's operation involved more than 140 hours from the Lithuanian Criminal Police Bureau, Vilnius Police, and special anti-terrorism units. Love the name Vilnius. Maybe I want to move to Vilnius just to have that as my address. You know? The prosecutor's office said in a statement that the alleged network was characterized by a very strict conspiracy and distribution of rolls. Cigarette smuggling was carried out systematically in a coordinated manner with strict control. Here we go, strict again. The prosecutors allege the organizers may have had direct contacts with accomplices operating in the Republic of Belarus, from where, under favorable weather conditions, balloons with smuggled cigarettes were launched. Using tracking or GPS equipment, appropriate programs, the movement of the balloons was monitored, and the exact coordinates of the landing in Lithuania were transmitted to the executors. That's pretty clever. Of course it is. You would put GPS tracking devices in it. Why wouldn't you? Of course, collecting the contraband, the latter had to be delivered to the pre-agreed points or hand over to other persons involved in the crimes. Lithuanian authorities said that 21 suspects would face charges of participating in a criminal organization, illegal handling of smuggling, excise goods, and aiding another state and acting against Louisiana. That sounds like espionage to me. Earlier this month, Lithuania declared a national emergency over security risk posed by meteorological balloons sent from Belarus. The balloons forced Lithuania to repeatedly shut down its main airport, the capital of Vilnius, stranding thousands of people, and led to temporary closure of 2 land border crossings with Belarus. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko, we've heard of him before. He's one of Putin's buddies, one of Putin's butt boys, getting the money on the sly, getting paid under the table. He slammed the borders as a mad scam and a part of a hybrid war against his country. Oh yeah, somebody bombed your country somehow? No, dude, you're smuggling shit into the country and you're probably behind it because you're making money on the back end or the front end, right? Selling him the balloons. They're probably selling the balloons to him. In November, NATO military officials said a U.S. anti-drone system had deployed to the alliance's eastern flank. And following a violation of Polish airspace, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte announced the formation of Eastern Sentry Program, which aims to deter further Russian incursions. Let's give that's a long-ass story, longer than I wanted it to be, but let's non sequitur that one.
My non sequitur for you is moving to Lithuania, the largest and most populous of the 3 Baltic states in northeastern Europe. Lithuania is a Schengen state, a member of the EU, and in 1990, it became the first former Soviet state to declare independence from the USSR. Today, Lithuania is thriving and has a high-income economy, with the major industries being service industry and agriculture. English is not widely spoken, and the language barrier can make doing business a tricky task. Interpreters are a good solution, although learning some conversational Lithuanian will make communication easier. The language is notoriously difficult to learn, but locals welcome being spoken to in their native language. Expats moving to Lithuania, immigrants, I hate the word expat, will discover a beer and sport-loving nation that boasts efficient infrastructure, beautiful countryside vistas. Lithuanian society is a mix of conservative Catholic viewpoints and a quirky bohemian youth culture. There you go. There's your non sequitur.
Quirky and bohemian. All right, that fits perfect. That fits perfect for Weird Wednesday as we talk about the weather. As we're always talking about our hot planet and the weird systems that are being generated. It's raining. That doesn't prove global warming. Oh, okay, whatever. Now, I'm just arguing with the people on the internet that imaginary in my head right now. APnews.com's Seth Borenstein, unusual weather conditions feed atmospheric river drenching Pacific Northwest. It seems like a repeat of an old story, and this has been going on for a few years now, and here we are. Warm water and air and unusual weather conditions tracing back as far as tropical cyclone flooding in Indonesia, which just happened, reported about 2 weeks ago, helped supercharge stubborn atmospheric rivers that have drenched Washington state with almost 5 trillion gallons or 19 trillion liters of rain in the past 7 days, threatening record flood levels, meteorologists said. The worst and most persistent of the heavy rains will linger to douse the same location through late Thursday and early Friday morning before the river moisture should lessen and move around a bit. But the West Coast likely won't see an end to the fire hose of moisture until the week of Christmas, said Matt Jeglum, acting science chief at the National Weather Service Western Region. Atmospheric rivers are long, narrow bands of water vapor that form over an ocean and flow through the sky, transporting moisture from the tropics to northern latitudes. The Pacific Northwest gets a couple of dozen each year, more than other parts of the West Coast, meteorologists say, but they're not usually this big. Wednesday's downpours, coupled with Monday's rains, have led to forecasts and record-setting flooding, particularly in the Skagit River, which flows through northern Washington and empties into the Puget Sound. And Washington State said Washington State climatologist Yelme Mauger, the atmospheric rivers, the ARs, are continually reloading, said former national NOAA chief scientist Ryan Maui, now a private meteorologist. I think I follow his channel. He's that guy with he's got the storm trackers out there and stuff. That's quite extreme, Maui added. I would not want to live there, not right now, or anywhere there's a flood for that matter. Using rain gauge observations, Maui estimated about 5 trillion gallons, more than enough to fill Oregon's Crater Lake, more than, here we go with one of them obscure measurements, or more than 18,000 Empire State Buildings. I have no concept of how big the Empire State Building is, and yeah, Oregon's Crater Lake is a very, very deep lake formed in a volcanic caldera, or whatever they call that big open space in a volcano. So it's very deep freshwater lake, probably the deepest lake in the world, or at least the United States. And 18,000 Empire State Buildings is not a point of reference I have any clue over. Even I've been to the Empire State Building a couple of times. And I used to work on the top of a skyscraper in New York City, and I still have no concept of what 18,000 Empire State Buildings mean. I think 5 trillion gallons is scary enough for me. Empire State Buildings floating past my house would scare me for sure, but I don't think it's going to happen. One weather station at Mount Rainier measured 21 inches of rain since Thursday. 21 inches of rain. Wow. It's not even snow, right? It should be snowing this time of the year, but we're getting rain instead. Weird. Those numbers are big, but we're not unheard of. The moisture, of course, they might just be melted snow at Mount Rainier. I'm not sure how they measure it. The moisture originated a few hundred miles north of Hawaii, where the Pacific is a couple of degrees warmer than normal. That fuels the atmospheric river even more than a warmer air adds to that, said meteorologist Jeff Masters, a co-founder of Weather Underground. Weather Underground? It used to be a terrorist organization. Let's call ourselves Weather Underground and get the FBI on our ass, right? And now the Yale climate connections, because it's so warm, a lot more of the moisture is falling and as rain than snow, he said. Instead of snow, here's the thing, the problem with rain, it doesn't contribute anything to the snowpack. It actually subtracts from the snowpack as it hits it. And it melts a certain amount of it, and it runs down the mountains, and it creates even more of a problem. If it was just snow, it would just stay up in the mountains until it thawed out. It wouldn't come down as rain for quite a while. So that's another thing feeding this. If this was just snow, we wouldn't have these problems. These storms have been supercharged by chain events that began 2 weeks ago, much farther than western Hawaii, Maui said. He pointed to an area near Indonesia that saw deadly flooding from tropical cyclones. That coincided with a natural season weather pattern that moves around every 30 days or so, the Madden-Julian Oscillation. Right on. Which Ma said was the strongest at that time of the year in decades. It sent out waves that helped carry an unbroken line of moisture and energy to the Indonesian event towards America. A high-pressure ridge off the California coast pushed the atmospheric river system north, further funneled by unusual warm air over Russia. Let's blame Russia. Damn it. Let's blame it for everything. And the cold in Alaska. So there's your update on the atmospheric river. It goes on a little bit longer, but there's not a whole lot to be learned. It's just like percentages and stuff like that. But you need a point of reference to state any of that.
Those fun
but
weather
as we see,
stats.
As we see,
non-sequitur.
Pose us a little.
Oh, I thought you were done.
No, I'm just going to say, as we can see, this is definitely related to global warming, as it's evaporating more water in the region of Hawaii. All right.
Yeah, we did a story on that. I don't know if it was this year or last year about that exact phenomenon, right? The hotter the planet gets, the more water that gets trapped in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And more rain, too. More rain, more flooding, more droughts. Hot planet.
The surface tension temperature of the ocean rises, therefore it evaporates more water. That's pretty scientifically easy to understand, I think. The water underneath might be 58 degrees, but right at the top where it evaporates, over 220.
Yeah.
Because
just look at a pot when you boil water. That's what it looks like. That's what the planet looks like right now.
Before it even starts boiling, you got a thin vapor over it, right? As thing. Yeah, that's what's going on here. The water below. Yeah. That's what clouds are, and that's how they form. Oh boy, science class. Let's go. Anyway.
For my non sequitur, Lithuania's climate tends towards chilly days in the winter and mild temperatures in the summer. Snowy weather can be expected from roughly October to April each year, sometimes with the addition of sleet in September and May. The cold climate does allow plenty of opportunities for winter sports, such as skiing and ice skating. So let's hope Lithuania keeps staying cold so you can keep skiing and ice skating over there. I don't know. I think there's a mountain range by Lithuania, but I don't know what it's called. They're Urals, maybe?
I see your I see your non sequitur, and I'll see another non sequitur. I watch these Christmas channels.
Yeah.
Right? It's like worldwide live cameras of Christmas shopping, and I'm pretty sure Lithuania is on there. It's all over Europe, most of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of shopping centers still in Europe like that.
Right, but European, some of these cities, I would visit them just for Christmas, even though it's cold as hell. But I don't mind cold. Shit, I grew up in Wisconsin. Throw it at me. See what I got.
I don't think I might not get that cold there compared to Wisconsin. I don't know.
They make hand warmers. I can hand warmers. They make toe warmers. I can just walk around with those. I'll be fine. In fact, your feet get warm from walking around and start to sweat. You probably should wear them wicking socks so your feet don't get cold when they get. I'm absolutely on a non sequitur. Let's go to another spin.
Also, the mountain range in Lithuania is called the Žemaitija Highlands. So it's more of highlands than an actual mountain range.
Cool. I can live there now. I'm Scottish. I can live in the Highlands.
Let me roll the segue for my story.
I'm legitimately Scottish. I just don't know to what degree, right? I don't wear kilts.
Give me some sarcasm.
Sarcasm again? Oh, wow.
You've been sarcasm your whole life. I know. It's a hard one. This story is coming out of Mexico, where a brawl is taking place, not in a bar, not on the street, not in an alleyway, but in the actual Congress for Mexico City. This is written by Masom Ja on Live Mint. A physical altercation erupted on the 15th of December among women lawmakers in Mexico City Congress, with the clash broadcast live as they pull hair and exchange punches. By the way, there is a man in the middle. There's two men in the middle of this fight, but yeah, let's make it all about women. There's totally men right there in the middle of it. They weren't throwing punches, of course, because they would get in really big trouble. You punched that female congresswoman. The scuffle began when legislators from the right-wing National Action Party, PAN or PAN, moved towards the chamber's main podium to protest what they claimed was a procedural violation by ruling leftist the Marina Party, which holds a majority in legislature and as reported by AFP. The debate involved reforming the city's government's transparency oversight agency, according to local media reports. Oh no, not government transparency. Far right, the right wing didn't like that, I guess. Wait, you can't tell people what we're doing with their taxes? Video from the incident shows at least 5 lawmakers from both parties arguing intensely, with members elbowing, slapping, and pulling each other's hair, an attempt by Marina lawmakers to physically remove the PAN members from the podium despite their refusal to move. We took the podium peacefully, without touching anyone. The decision made by the majority legislative group and its allies was try and regain control of the board through violence. Andres Atadie, an aide for PAN representatives, told a press conference after the incident. Of course, they're gonna... maybe they're right, though. Maybe they are the victim here. Daniela Alvarez, one of the PAN lawmakers who approached the podium, told reporters, "Not only is it vulgar, not only is it aggressive, but it is lamentable that this is the majority governing party for this city." Following the altercation, PAN lawmakers walked out of the chamber, and the Marina-led majority continued the debate in the absence of the opposition. According to posts shared on the Congress of Mexico's social media account, what worries us is a lot is how the opposition is systematically restoring the violence instead of arguments. It is the absence of being able to debate. Marina spokesman Paula Garcia told broadcaster Milenio, AFP reported. So that's all the drama we got there. That's all the tea we have, unfortunately. Marina is kind of... They released their one social media post, and that's all they've said. They're not trying to... Well, I would say the right wing is trying to heat up. Right? They're trying to make the drama spicier than it is. And maybe the video will show more. If I actually watch the video, you can see how it happened. But they're probably speaking Spanish and saying stuff in Spanish, which I don't know.
So my sarcasm...
Politicians acting like animals in a barn.
Right?
Having a cat fight.
And they can't reach a solution. Like it's a stalemate. Like, oh, we can't do this without causing harm, right? In other words, it's a Mexican standoff, and that's where that name came from, apparently.
100%, you're completely true.
Yeah, it's a legitimate case of a Mexican standoff, both literally and figuratively.
Oh my God!
My shorter story here is about a cow.
Okay.
While the Congress is acting like animals, this animal got its head stuck in a tree. This is more of a cute, wacky story that doesn't affect any bit of society at all, except for maybe one cow's life. This is on the BBC News. A cow has been A cow's been rescued after getting its head stuck between 2 trees. Hampshire and Isle of Wight Fire and Rescue Service teamed up with animal rescue teams from Lyndhurst and Winchester to save the animal in the village of Crux Easton. On-call firefighters from Kingsclere were sent to the scene at 7:30 on Saturday. Saturday, I believe, was the 13th of December. Crews used a telehandler and animal rescue techniques to lift and release the unharmed cows to safety. So you got a V-shaped tree, and they lifted it up and then pulled it out. And it's been rescued. And that's the end of the story. I wish I had more to say, but nothing else. It's been saved, and it's probably doing fine. It was probably just sitting there in the tree going, ah, for hours on end, right? Dude, whose cow is mooing? For like the last 3 hours, I've been hearing this cow moo. Oh, it's stuck in a tree.
Yeah, cows don't move for no damn reason, right?
Yeah, right.
This is funny. I grew up on a farm. A cow's mooing. It's like either in danger, or it had a calf, or it's mad, right?
Yeah.
Or all three. Yeah. So let's. I was gonna quote my sarcasm as Chick Hearn. I thought he used to say the cows in the barn, but that's not what he said. Chick Hearn used to be the Lakers basketball team announcer. He's passed on now, but he's legendary. When the game was on ice, the game was over, there was no chance the other team was coming out. He would say things like, the cow's in the barn, stuff like that. But I guess he's quoted as saying, this game's in the refrigerator. The door's closed, the light's out, the eggs are cooling, the butter's getting hard, and the jello is jiggling, which was great. But I always thought he said the cow's in the barn if he was a case. The cows are in the barn. But I guess he did. But there's my sarcasm.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically,
luckily this cow is one of those woolly cows. So it didn't get cold or anything. It was just like probably panicked and like, I don't know how to get out. I looked up another story and it says here that, it was no injuries. It's fine. And it's going to go on chewing that cud, I guess.
Right. That gives you something to chew on. That's a bad pun. No, I guess my sarcasm was going to end up on one of the chickisms. I thought I heard him say cows in the barn one night, but the internet's not going to tell me.
It's like when I found out there was another line to Jack and the Jill. There's another verse.
All right, what was it?
I can't remember it verbatim, but it was something about Jack going home and getting some vinegar and brown bag, vinegar and some brown bag for his bruises. Mm-hmm. So he goes home.
Gotcha.
So after falling down the hill, I guess Jill was just left behind. She didn't go home. She was just left at the bottom of the hill.
I thought you were going to say the Andrew Dice Clay version of that, but let's not go there.
Let's roll our segue for your story.
No, I grew up with I didn't grow up with Chick Hearn, but I lived in Southern California for 7 years, and they played the Lakers games. You go to the Lakers games, and the Lakers are always good then, and they're usually winning by 20 points with 3 minutes left. And then Chick Hearn would break out the old, this game is over. What do you call it? A metaphor cascade?
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. Yeah. I mean, you can say it so many ways. The game's in the refrigerator. 1, the door's closed. 2, the light's out. 3, the legs are cooling. 4, the butter's getting hard. 5, and the jello is getting jiggly. The jello's jiggling. That's 6 different ways. The cow's in the barn is another way. And I swear he said that. By the way. Anyway.
Our next story. Oh, sorry. Our next segue is going to reminds me of a song. So give me something to be reminded about.
Song, and my pen quit writing. Oh well, no issue. Pompeii. We're going back in ancient history to Pompeii. And
wow, that was easy. Quickest story to be reminded of a song ever.
Right? You gonna be reminded of Pink Floyd at Pompeii, or
there's Pompeii's a song called graffiti? Pompeii.
Oh, okay. Pompeii's graffiti captures every joke, boast, and argument of the ancient Roman city frozen in time. Did they have a sense of humor? Sure they did. Pompeii's graffiti, let's see that. Roughly 11,000 inscriptions, which seems like a big number, but if you count every letter as an inscription, I'm not sure what you're counting. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the ancient Roman cities of Pompeii, Herculaneum, and Stabiae bustled with merchants, farmers, and families go on about their daily lives. Unbeknownst to them, Mount Vesuvius, a still active volcano that rises above the Bay of Naples in southern Italy, was beginning to stir. A catastrophe was brewing in the Pompeians' backyard. They probably should have known. On the day of the infamous disaster, Vesuvius started erupting around noon, sending a towering column of gases, ash, and rock fragments in the sky. Author and administrator Pliny the Younger, who was living, or is it Pliny, who was living in the port city of Misenum with his uncle, the naturalist Pliny the Elder, at the time, recorded one of the few eyewitnesses accounts of the devastation. In his view, as my hiccups come back, in his view, the volcanic plume more closely resembled a pine tree than anything else. Heavy pumice and ash rained down from above, crushing roofs and filling courtyards. Later, fast-moving pyroclastic flows rushed down the volcano. Some victims died of asphyxiation, as others were killed instantly by the extreme heat. Among the dead was Pliny the Elder, who was overcome while attempting to rescue friends in Stabiae. By nightfall the following day, Pompeii was gone, buried under 20 feet of debris. Ongoing excavations have shed light on Pompeii's ancient residents, suggesting the city's elite built lavish towers on top of their villas and relaxed in private spas. The poorest survivors of Vesuvius eruption, meanwhile, returned to Pompeii after the disaster and eked out a living in the ash-covered ruins. In the mid-18th century, when the archaeologists first started excavating, get the mouth to work first, Pompeii's ruins, they discovered traces of everyday life in the form of art and artifacts. Frescoes adorned homes, public spaces, and temples. Locals scribbled election notices, marked day announcements, and gossips on buildings' walls. They also hurled accusations at each other and exchanged witty verses. Children even scrawled crude likenesses of gladiators they've seen fighting in the arena. In Pompeii alone, the archaeologists have uncovered more than 11,000 examples of graffiti. Some inscriptions were hurriedly written by passersby, while others showcased their creators' artistic skill. Graffiti writers belonged to all walks of life. Shopkeepers, laborers, soldiers, and enslaved people alike left their marks. Pompeian graffiti was essentially an ancient version of today's social media. Let's make this so modern people can understand it. Acting as a form of communication. Just to be clear,
social media is just writing stuff down and sharing it with society. Like newspapers are social media.
Media as a word is just a way to pass information. That's what media means. When you say you're against media, you're like, you're against information. Okay, got you. You're against media. Radio is a media. Television is a media.
Yeah, like I said,
newspapers are media. Right. Media just means
flyer.
Something that is used to transfer information. That's all.
Graffiti
it really is.
In this case, right?
It doesn't have it. Yeah, and well, the wall is the media, actually, not graffiti. The wall, it's the media. The graffiti is the stuff written on the media. That's what media is. Media is a stone tablet with nothing on it is not media. A stone tablet with something written on it is media. In other words, right? You make it media by writing something, but it exists independently of being media. Like I could put a television signal all day long and never put anything on it, right? It only becomes media when it transfers something. Anyway, I'm totally burying this story on my stupidity here.
Under a volcano.
Journalist there's your volcano pun. Too bad you didn't get a pun. Journalist Tom Standage, author of Writing on the Wall, Social Media in the First 2,000 Years, has seen some of the most interesting examples of ancient graffiti in Pompeii. He says his favorites are the ones where several people wrote messages rather like an internet comment thread. In one instance, two brothers, Onesimus and Secundus, left each other notes on the wall of a mutual friend. Another time, mutual writers offered their own twist on popular couplets on the wall of a stairwell in the house of Maius Castricus. Perhaps the world's oldest limerick, I would hope, right? Wouldn't that be cool if somebody found a limerick on there once was a man from Pompeii who didn't know how, whatever. Rhymes with lay, Pompeii, right? You have a tough time finding a match with rhyme with Vesuvius, I think. Lugubrious is a word. Lugubrious is a word. Lots of lines with Vesuvius. There are examples of public discussions, literally writing on a friend's wall, says Sandage. There are lots of other examples in history as well, but this one is the earliest made possible because the Romans had a reasonably high level of literacy. Yeah, man, Romans, again, what are the Romans giving us? Literacy? Going back to Life of Brian. The themes covered in Pompeian graffiti are so different from what people post online today. Yeah, they're probably more educated. There are tales of sexual conquest and unrequited love, Standage says. There are also restaurant reviews, both good and bad. There are insults, jokes, inspirational quotes, and poems. In their first Michelin review, I believe. An email, Alison Cooley, a historian of the University of Warwick in England, points to the conversation between Successes the Weaver and his rival Severus, who competed for the affection of the barmaid Iris by trading clever insults in their graffiti. Envious one, why do you get in the way? Successus, what a name, Successus asked. submit to a handsomer man, and the one is being treated very wrong, and who's being treated very wrongly. Severus in turn reported, "You love Iris, but she does not love you." And Iris is like, "Dude, I don't like either one of you guys." Standage points out that in the early archaeologists were very sniffy about the graffiti in Pompeii when it was first discovered because it seemed so trivial. Really? Oh. Well, that's obviously trivial. I'm a snooty archaeologist. What do you mean, bothered with graffiti? Well, but look at these cave paintings from 40,000 years ago. Let's pay attention to them. That's confusing. It's confusing to me to be sniffy. I think sniffy is a snooty, like I'm better than this nonsense.
This doesn't help us understand anything about people. Well, then I think people arguing about a girl at a bar is pretty universal there.
Yeah, I love modern people thinking that graffiti from 2,000 years ago is trivial.
Honestly, this sounds like an archaeologist I wanted to discover. There were aliens there. It's like, oh, this isn't proof there were aliens. This is just proof they're normal people just like us. Oh, that's boring.
It's like one of them guys that Indiana Jones used to argue with when he was looting, Egyptian treasure and bringing it back to England for everybody to steal, But that was what it gives us value. It shows us that people are much the same and makes the Romans much more relatable. It gives you a flavor of the lives of ordinary Romans. Yeah, ordinary Romans like, God, boy, do I hate this restaurant.
They were human beings. Crazy.
Rebecca, let's do some little bit more and then we'll close it. Rebecca Benefiel, a classicist at Washington and Lee University, has cataloged inscriptions from Pompeii and Herculaneum for the Ancient Graffiti Project, an online source focused on the early Roman Empire, so you can actually look at these, and they've been translated for you to easily understand. These messages encompass a wide range of public and private expression written across spaces, both domestic and civic. There were many greetings to friends, verses of poetry, personal names, all over the city. Nobody could afford paper, right? They didn't have paper, probably. Not the kind we think of as paper, like made from trees. They had the kind that was probably really hard to obtain. You had to be basically part of the government, write official decrees and stuff. And of course, Christianity didn't exist either, so don't be bothered to look for Bibles, okay? The campus ad amphitheatrum, a large multi-purpose building with more than 100 columns, boasts the most graffiti of any single building in Pompeii, with more than 400 handwritten inscriptions. Other popular spots for leaving graffiti included brothels, baths, and interior walls in private homes. Brothels, right? For a good time. See, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to slander anybody's name. According to Benefiel, men left behind more graffiti than women, but plenty of greetings written to women showed it expected they could read them. Women sometimes responded with their own greetings, and a few women wrote longer, touching messages. Not all the notes are personal, some are political, carefully painted in bright red letters by professional sign writers who drummed up support for candidates in upcoming elections. We love democracy. These dipinti, or painted rather than engraved inscriptions, were akin to sponsored social media posts. Vote for biggest dickus, whatever. There's your vote for Maximus Nautius. Nautius Maximus. That's his name. Nautius Maximus. Vote for Nautius Maximus. Let's have your song remind you of, which you think you probably already called out, but hey, let's have it anyway.
Yes, I have a song, and that song is, where did I open it? Here it is.
Oh my God!
Sorry. Premature.
And the walls keep tumbling down in the city that we love. Gray clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing's changed at all? That's the name of that's the song Pompeii by Bastille. And it has this part where I go, ayo, 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 ayo. That's kind of like the chorus background vocals. You've probably heard it once in your life. It was pretty big back in, I want to say 2016. No, sorry, 2013. It was on the radio all day long, forever and ever. Very overplayed song, but I think it's a good song. It's a man speaking in a lower voice that I can't sing in, so I didn't even attempt to do that.
Whoa!
But Yeah.
You can't do the gravel?
No. No, he sings, he's kind of sings like a frog in a way, I guess, to explain it. And it's British, so he's singing in British deeply, and like he's like, and it almost feels like nothing's there. I can't do it. That's too British. Oh, my phone's going
Well, the
off.
song reminds me of is the roof. The roof is on fire because it's got hot lava.
But to be fair, actually, it was a pyroclastic flow that killed everyone in Pompeii, so it was just deadly hot gas. There was actually no lava.
Well, plus you can't. A lot of people
Pompeii.
suffocated because you cannot. Yeah, but you cannot breathe actual volcanic dust. It is not.
And
like
it also just burned everybody.
Rocks. Yeah, it's
Hot
emulsified
steam.
rocks. It's like
hot,
going straight into your lungs. It will kill you.
Of acid.
Inhaling rock.
Inhaling
terrible,
rocks,
terrible
yes.
thing.
Please do not inhale rocks. You have another story?
If you can help it. No more stories.
Okay.
They didn't have the people that put cloths over their mouths would have probably, survived.
Yeah, not only was it ash and rocks, but it was also hot ash and rocks. So yeah, burn your lungs from the inside.
By the way, Vesuvius is still there, and it's still a volcano. That
That's
hasn't
right.
changed.
It's still ready to go.
Tomorrow, the whole thing we uncovered could be buried again. So it's a good thing we're reading it now.
Oh, hurry! Somebody write some graffiti.
This is modern, by golly. It says Trump sucks.
Wait,
maybe they moved back then.
And 2025, put it right there. That's the problem. They didn't put the dates next to their graffiti, so we don't know.
They didn't know if it was AD or BC either. They were confused about that.
Now they can do carbon dating or something to figure it out.
A recent invention. They would have been going by probably what? Is there a Greek calendar? What did the Roman calendar? They went by the Roman calendar at the time, right?
Yeah, they switched to the Gregorian calendar, I believe, in 20 CE or something.
The Romans perfected their calendar to a certain extent.
At some point, or maybe it was 200, at some point they were like, Jesus, we believe in Jesus now, and then they took the Gregorian calendar, I believe.
Right, yeah. And then the Romans totally adopted Jesus and started forcing on everybody else from Rome. Isn't that interesting?
Thanks, Holy Roman Empire. Let's roll our next segue for my culture news.
Headquartered in Germany, by the way. Yeah.
Bad pun. Woohoo!
Bad puns. I got you a video. I sent you a video, by the way.
Okay, let me open Facebook to make sure I got the video. My culture news is going to be about our favorite topic since forever. I guess we're talking about more now because we're getting closer to the date of releasing the Epstein files. This, of course, is an update on a story we did previously about Virginia Giuffre's memoir, her posthumous memoir, Nobody's Girl, in which has sold 1 million copies in 2 months. This is on The Guardian by Associated Press. A posthumous memoir by one of Jeffrey Epstein's best-known accusers, I would say victim, but I guess she's... Neither of the people can go on trial now, so we'll never know the truth. Has sold 1 million copies worldwide in just the 2 months after its release. Publisher Alfred A. Knopf announced yesterday on the 16th of December that more than half the sales for Nobody's Girl came out of North America. That's right. People in the U.S. want to know the truth about Jeffrey Epstein and release his files. In the U.S., the book is now in its 10th printing after the initial run of 70,000 copies. So if we do the math there, they've sold 700,000 copies. Let's say they did all their initial runs were 70,000 copies, so they've done 10 reruns. Giuffre's book, co-written by author-journalist Amy Wallace, was published in early October. The memoir helped revive criticism of Andrew Mountbatten Winder, formerly known as Prince Andrew, who's been detitled, whom Giuffre allegedly had sex with her when she was 17, and it heightened demand that the Justice Department release its files on Epstein, who killed himself in prison. Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. Giuffre died by suicide in April at age 41. This is a bittersweet moment for us. Giuffre's family, including siblings Sky Roberts and Danny Wilson, said in a statement, "We are enormously proud of our sister and the impact she continues to have on the world. We also filled with so much sorrow that she couldn't be here to witness the impact of her words. In her absence, our family remains committed to ensuring her voice is everlasting." Within weeks of Giuffre's book being published, King Charles III stripped Mountbatten Windsor of his remaining titles and evicted him from his royal residence, in which he started crying, "Oh, how will I live? I guess I'll move to the other mansion." Because I think he's still living in a mansion. Mountbatten Windsor has long denied
No, he's
any
living in a
claims.
cottage. I think it's a cottage.
Oh, sorry. A cottage, a nice royal cottage instead. Oh, God.
Rent-free.
It only has 10 rooms instead of 20.
Rent-free.
Rent-free, yep. Taxes paid. He's all long denied claims, but stepped down from royal duties after a disastrous November 2019 interview in which he attempted to rebut her allegations. He paid millions in out-of-court settlements in 2022 after Giuffre filed a civil suit against him in New York. While he didn't admit wrongdoing, he acknowledged Giuffre's suffering as a victim of sex trafficking. This week, Giuffre's family expressed their deep disappointment after the Metropolitan Police announced that Mountbatten Windsor will not face a criminal investigation in the UK over allegations against him. Sadly, because the victim is dead. They probably want to ask her facts and, collaborate details, but you can't do that if one of the people who has the facts is dead. So, but in Australia, the crisis support lifeline is 131114. In the US, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. In the UK, Samaritans can be contacted at 1-16-123. After international suicide helplines can be found at befrienders.org. So if you don't kill yourself, there's people you can talk to, especially if you are a witness to Epstein or his friends' crimes. Please keep going and tell us the truth about these sick bastards in our world. There's your reminder. There's your reminder about that.
Yeah, I'm reminded.
Don't forget about them.
I've been reminded about the royally screwed prince who we used to call Randy Andy, and that is not even ironic anymore, right? It's just sad. Randy, of course, is a British term for always being, always ready to go.
He's just a friendly uncle. Please sit on my lap.
Right.
Stay away from Randy
Think
Andy.
of Think of JD Vance and couches, and you get what Randy means. He will put it in anything that moves. Randy Andy. Sorry, I had to be graphic about that. Randy Andy.
Okay, and that's my story. That's my culture news. Short and sweet. Just to remind everyone.
He was affectionately known as Randy Andy. Not so affectionately anymore. This day in history, let's do a pun, whatever, a spin, I guess.
I'm spinning. I'm going to give you 3 haikus.
All right, get ready. Here they come. This day in history, Pope Paul III excommunicated King Henry VIII over his divorce of Catherine of Aragon and remarriage of Anne Boleyn. Henry VIII kind of a human garbage bin. Speaking of, royal family people that were just garbage.
There's more examples
Henry
of
VIII.
just because you're royal doesn't mean you're a good person. Goddamn.
Yeah. Henry VIII, a big pile of mashed potatoes and eyes, had 7 different wives, and the reason he created the Church of England, the only damn reason he created the Church of England, is he did not want to be married to Catherine of Aragon, who was the, I believe, Russian princess, and divorced her, remarried Anne Boleyn, and said, I got my own religion now, screw you, Pope. And the Pope excommunicated him, and it didn't hurt him at all. It's like, okay, whatever, I'll start my own religion. 1663, Zinga a Mabundu queen, died in Matamba. Today she is considered the mother of the nation in Angola. I was going to say that's a picture of her, but it's not a picture. It's a very good drawing. It's very depictive. 1760 in this day, Deborah Sampson, who assumed a man's identity in order to join the 4th Massachusetts Regiment and fight in the American Revolution. She was born on this day, I think. Yeah, she was born because the American Revolution didn't start till 1775 or 6.
It was 76.
75. I think 75 was the...
is that when they won,
Bunker
76?
Bunker Hill. No, it wasn't over till 1781. But Deborah Simpson joined the fight. Doesn't say when she joined the fight, but she was born in 1760. She wasn't that old. She disguised herself as a woman. Disguised herself as a man. She was a woman. Was born in Plimpton, Massachusetts. She was also one of the first women to lecture professionally in the United States, so she survived the war. 1777, French Foreign Minister Charles Gravier, Comte de Vergennes, and King Louis XVI decided to recognize the United States as an independent country and poke King George right in the eye. Take that, King George. Recognize the United States as an independent country, making France one of the first countries to do so. The recognition became official on February 16, 1770, when the two signed a treaty of alliance that involved French financially and military in the American Revolution. And they sent on one of their finest generals, Lafayette, to the United States. And he was only very young, and he was an aristocrat, and he was probably, his entire family was wiped out by Napoleon, but he sure did help us.
And he's featured in Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lafayette, again, he was a aristocrat for sure. And like I said, French Revolution probably disposed of his entire family. But hey... 1807, with Napoleon's decree of Milan, all neutral countries and allies of France were forbidden to trade with Britain. And France, once again, sticking the finger in Britain's eye. 1892, the first issue of Vogue was published, initially a weekly high society journal. It became the prominent American fashion magazine with Diana Vreeland and Anna Wintour among the most notable influential editors. Vogue, a fashion magazine. 1907, the brothers Orville and Wilbur Wright made their first successful sustained flight on an airplane. That was 122 years ago. Orville first gliding 1,200 feet through the air in 12 seconds at Kill Devil Hills in North Carolina, which we visited once upon a time, way back in 2000. Gosh, I would say around 2006, maybe 2005. We visited that. Do you remember all the mosquitoes there? I know that there was a lot. The mosquitoes are awful. 1910, jazz trumpeter, composer, and band leader Cy Oliver was born in Battle Creek, Michigan. One of the leading music arrangers in the 1930s and 40s. He was a black man. So jazz kind of gives that away, usually. 1969, the Secretary of U.S. Air Force announced the end of the Project Blue Book, a controversial program that had investigated UFOs since 1952. The decision followed a report by the University of Colorado that found no evidence any investigated UFO had been a threat to national security or was proof of extraterrestrial existence. They concluded that, but people are like, oh, you're hiding stuff. And the government's like, okay, we're hiding stuff. Believe what you want. We don't care. 1992, the North American Free Trade Agreement was signed by the leaders of Mexico, Canada, and the United States, replaced the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement in 2020. It was signed by George Bush, the first president. And it was enforced by Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton said, that's a nice trade agreement. This is back when the free trade agreement was anti-tariff. In other words, no tariffs, Mexico, Canada, United States, none, zero, none whatsoever, none. We're not going to deal with tariffs anymore. Republicans were 100% in agreement with it now, and now they support tariffs. Makes no sense to me. Your economic principles don't mean anything to you, apparently. Whatever, Republicans, you just believe whatever. You have no center. The old saying, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. 2010, Tunisian street vendor Mohamed Bouazizi set himself on fire. Now, here's a protest. You want to protest? You really feel that strongly? Time to get the torch out. He was harassed by municipal officials, giving rise to Tunisia's Jasmine Revolution and helping inspire the Arab Spring. He died from the injuries the following month. You want to make a point? He made a point. 2011, North Korean ruler Kim Jong-il died and succeeded by his youngest son, Kim Jong-un, who can dunk a basketball behind his back without jumping. He's so powerful. Don't you want... Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of all mankind, is incapable of making a mistake. We all know this, and you just need to learn it. I'm sorry, I'm repeating North Korean government propaganda. 2014, United States and Cuba established diplomatic relations that have been suspended more than 50 years. We now are... I don't know what that status is now. Probably stupid Trump reversed it because he's a fascist. Featured event 1989, the debut of everybody's favorite animated long-running TV show, The Simpsons. Debuted in 1989 with a Christmas special, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, where they picked up their dog, Santa's Little Helper, who was a greyhound that lost at a track. Weekly episodes began airing the following month in 1990, and the show went on to become the longest-running animated television series in U.S. history. Featured biography is W.L. Mackenzie King, Prime Minister of Canada. He was born on December 17th, 1874 in Berlin, Canada. Died in 1958 at the age of 75 in Quebec. Other birthdays today, Francis, the Pope, who just passed away, Pope Francis, born in 1936. Muhammadu Buhari, head of state of Nigeria, born in 1942. Chris Matthews, American journalist and political commentator, who is one of those guys who says something and immediately forgets he says it. And that's why he's not on TV anymore. Because MSNBC fired him for saying crude things to female employees that he doesn't remember. It's like, yeah, it's convenient not to remember that stuff. In 1978, Manny Pacquiao was born. Filipino boxer and politician, one of your famous world, I want to say middleweight to welterweight. They all fluctuated between those. So it's his birthday, born in 1970, and National Day today, National Say It Now Day, National Maple Syrup Day, which should be like, did you know that Canada has a maple syrup reserve? Did you know this? They have a maple syrup reserve. We have an oil reserve. Canada has a maple syrup reserve.
Oh, don't forget, maple syrup is the blood of a tree. So.
That's true. It's blood, and it's very common in northern reaches. You cannot get maple syrup anywhere south of, I think, Connecticut or Wisconsin. The farther you go south, they don't have the long winters. You need a long winter for maple syrup.
Yep.
And maple syrup the sap only runs for a few days in the spring, right? And you got to tap those trees on those days, because after that, it doesn't run. It's just in the trees, and it's just kind of going, I'm already in the tree now.
Yeah.
You don't have to run anymore. What you're doing when you're tapping is you're just taking one of those veins and you're emptying it into the bucket. The tree will survive because you didn't tap it to death. So anyway, maple syrup. It's National Maple Syrup Day, which is every day in Canada. It's National Wright Brothers Day for obvious reasons. The first day of people started to fly, and it's National Say It Now Day. So say your I forget what you spun. Say it now on December 17th, 2025, on Before Maple Syrup, which you put on your pancakes, even that fake stuff.
I love some maple syrup. Of course, most of the stuff we get these days is not real maple syrup. It's just like synthesized sugar, and then it's dyed.
With corn syrup.
Yeah,
it's corn syrup with
starch,
artificial
exactly.
flavor.
So
corn syrup, it's not even starch.
Oh yeah,
it's
sorry, corn
just
syrup. So
sugar.
it's not. So get some real maple syrup. Treat yourself. That extra $5 or whatever it costs.
Do they make maple syrup in Europe? Is there maple syrup in Europe? Does anybody make that? Is there a country in Europe that?
I want to say no, because we don't use maple syrup for anything.
Okay,
maybe
well, it's not exactly an answer.
The thing is, if I look up the word maple syrup, I just get the word stroop, which I'm pretty sure stroop is.
I'll look it
not
up
syrup.
then. You do
It's
what you're gonna do.
caramel. So I don't think we
Mm.
have maple syrup in the Netherlands. At least I can only speak about the Netherlands because that's where I live. I don't know about the rest of Europe.
The European Common Market is where
You
you
can
get all
buy
your stuff.
it. I don't know where it's made. If it's made here in Europe at
It's just
all.
available. Well, yeah,
It
it's
could probably be
available. I can
made
get
in Finland and Norway. I don't see
Nope,
why
it's
not, but
not
yeah,
in
it says here's, I mean, the AI, right? The AI is telling me it's not possible because it isn't cold enough here, but I'm like, hello, Sweden, Norway, and
nothing to
Finland
do with
exist. So I don't know.
hello, Canada. Canada is the #1 producer, and if you think you don't get it cold in Canada, I got some news for you. It gets really freaking cold. So it's not about the weather; it's about your trees. What trees you have? Sugar maples produce
Yeah,
it.
I think
If you
they
don't have sugar
probably
maples,
have a monopoly, and also if they were to introduce the maple tree to Europe, that would create some sort of invasive species, maybe disrupt the environment.
probably. I'm
Supposedly
just saying.
90% of the world supply comes from Canada, so they have some sort of this is our thing. That's why it's on their freaking flag, you know.
Yeah, they got a maple leaf on their
Yeah.
flag for
So,
sure. And they have,
Norway
as they
does
say,
have some sap
if you
can be
produce,
collected from European maples, like the Norway maple, but it has lower sugar content, so it's not as sweet. So yeah, it's just the right tree,
yeah.
it's the right climate, and has the right amount of sugar. So it's imported here. There's also birch syrup made from birch trees, which is actually a traditional old world sweetener, but it comes from Eastern Europe. So there you go. That's the replacement. If you want
what has to happen?
birch
And
syrup.
I know you can make. I know you can make. United States probably makes the rest of the maple syrup that Canada doesn't make. We've made it in the farm I grew up in is full of maple trees are everywhere, and we made maple syrup one time. Very hard. You have to cook it down. You have to just put it in this big gigantic vat.
It's a liquid, right? It's like it looks like kind of like water when you get it.
It's mostly water. It's almost all water.
And then I've actually seen a video on this too. Yeah, continue.
That water is frozen in the roots until springtime. That's why it runs to the top, right? To turn the leaves, get the leaves, some moisture. And as soon as the first frost of the ground, you're out there tapping trues. You're not waiting for the leaves to come on or anything. You're waiting for that
it to be cold.
First unfreezing of the permafrost. You got to kind of have permafrost. You got to have sugar maples, and you got to have the climate that allows it to run continuously for like 3 or 4 days, and then it's done. That's kind of what has to happen. And there's years where the yields are terrible because the weather doesn't cooperate. So that's why Canada has a strategic maple reserve stored up for those times.
And as you were going to say, right, you take that liquid, you put it in a pan, and you just cook it for hours.
Yeah, you won't get if you put it in a pan
for hours. And then I think I saw a video of somebody filling an entire bucket of syrup. And then they reduced it down to probably a cup of syrup, just a cup.
Yeah. I was going to say,
a whole bucket,
like
a huge 5-gallon or 10-gallon bucket, 1 cup of syrup.
So to paint a picture for you, we had this huge watering trough for the cows. A watering trough, a giant, long, skinny
like
metal thing.
Sized.
Got to be made of metal or something ceramic that you can cook, right? And you can't boil it. You basically the same thing as producing alcohol, right? Distilleries, they don't boil anything. They get it to a temperature right below boiling, and that releases the alcohol as a vapor. They don't want any higher than that. And so you don't want boiling.
You make some syrup clouds.
Right. Yeah. What'll happen is it'll all stick to the bottom if you boil it. It does stick to the bottom, by the way. And again, the best byproduct of all this boiling is not it has nothing to do with the syrup. It's the stuff at the bottom. When all of it evaporates, what you have down there is really hard maple candy, which is the best candy in the damn world. However, it sticks to your teeth. So watch them fillings because they'll pull them right out. Anyway, that's my little diatribe.
That's a great example of how nature gives us stuff, but they don't give it to us for free.
Yeah, if you're going to Vermont or Canada or whatever, and they sell you maple candy, warning, it's very delicious. Do not try to chew it. It'll
suck on it. Suck on this. They should put that on the packaging. Suck only. Only suck on this. Make sure you clear out 5 hours to suck on this candy.
It is the stickiest thing in nature. And as all sap in nature is sticky, this is basically maple sap that's been boiled down to candy form. All moisture removal.
Some good tree blood.
Right. You could probably stick 2 battleships together and they wouldn't pull apart. I just say it. All right, let's do the show. Let's finish it off.
My haikus are a family framed. Laughter sparks on winter nights. Cartoons carve their name. Because their first special was on Christmas, right?
Right on.
Fists like thunderstrike in the ring. A nation's pride. Heart of a champion. For Manny out there. Wings of a dream take flight. Brothers soar through skies of hope. History in flight. Thanks to Wright Brothers for giving us planes so that we can get asthma from jet fuel or something. I can't wait for that study to come out. People who live by airports get more cancer than everyone else. Isn't that weird? What a coincidence. It's probably the jet fuel. International days today, there are none, so we have nothing to celebrate on the UN side of things. Thank you everyone for being here. This has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US, as we finish off another Wacky and Weird Wednesday. I hope you're as bewildered as us by the oddities that are going on in the world. We'll be back tomorrow. Are we doing the same thing we did last week with the bring 7 things to the show?
I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
I can think of a bunch of things.
I was going to talk about Dick Van Dyke.
You want to think about Dick Van Dyke for 7 things?
Or I was going to talk about my 13 qualifications to run for office.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. We're going to have that list tomorrow for our Thursday's 13.
Maybe. Go ahead.
Thursday's 13 episode, so make sure you are following on Twitch. Subscribed on YouTube. Turn those notifications on to know when we go live. Please subscribe. We want YouTube to know that people care about this show and want to watch it. So if you can take that time to do that, go ahead. You can also support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And here is our mic drop moment.
Of course, the Dick Van Dyke Show featured
Get ready to sing. Get the mic out.
Yeah, I did not know this until I watched this video. It's all the family related. Rob Reiner's not in it, but Carol O'Connor is. And I did not know there was words to the closing theme of that show.
Oh, the secret lyrics. That's pretty cool.
I think by now most of you
know he wrote them.
Theme of All in the Family.
Well, I mean, you didn't know about them, so it's a secret to you.
Many of you have taken much notice of a very nice closing theme. We have. And I didn't notice it for a couple of weeks after beginning my show, and I did notice it. And I asked my friend Roger Kellaway, who composed the music, if I could have permission to do a lyric to it.
And he had his own lyrics to his show.
I wrote the lyric to it.
Multi-talented.
The title of it is Remembering
Carol
You.
O'Connor.
And it's our pleasure, Rogers and mine, to do this.
I didn't know he could sing.
For you tonight.
He sings at the beginning.
I mean, I know he sings in the show, but like actually...
He's a Broadway actor. Don't forget that.
Got a feeling it's all over now. All over now, we're through. And tomorrow I'll be lonesome.
Very nice. Should have been on a Frank Sinatra album or something.
Got a feeling the sun will be gone.
I kind of miss lounge singing.
The day will be long and blue.
There's something, even though I wasn't alive, there's something nostalgic about it.
Right. Put $1 in the jar, make a request.
There's a faraway look in your eye when you try.
I like how he matches with the music. He matches it completely, right?
But look at his face acting is so good here too.
Everything is the same as it used to be. I see it's all over now.
It's the end of the show.
All over now, we're through. And tomorrow I can start in
He also has like a British. He almost pronounces words very British when he's singing. British-ish.
And don't forget he was on In the Heat of the Night, where he played a Southern sheriff. Our police chief. That TV series, you remember it.
All over now we're through, and tomorrow I can start in remembering
You.
remembering,
Oh, man.
consolate my heart in
Oh, nice.
remembering you.
Good job. Very nice. And the piano playing was good too. Don't forget the accompaniment.
Yep.
Is this just a random thing, or was it for the show?
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.